It's another super stinking hot weekend up here, but I did get around to doing something I've been wanting to do for the longest time, and that is to mow the paddock. The paddock was super green when we first bought the place, and those of you who've been watching for a little bit might remember that when we first got here we got some sheep put in. So we had a few sheep in for about a month, and then they ate everything down, and then it started going to dirt. So we got a mate who owns the sheep to take them off to another paddock, which would feed it a bit better and help this one to rejuvenate. But in the meantime, we've had really stinking hot weather, but also there's been some time with some rain, which means the grass has gone bonkers in some areas. So there is dirt patches out there where the sheep have sort of eaten it down to nothing, which no doubt will come back again with all of their little poop, making the dirt better for growing, hopefully is the case. But there's definitely been some patches out there that have stayed super green still, and yeah, there was some areas that got really long, so it's definitely more than you would want to get out there with a push mower, which is what I've had up until now. But today I got to use the super special zero turn rider that my father-in-law has, so that was super exciting. We've not been living here permanently, so the garden has just got a little bit disheveled while we haven't been here. But that's about to change soon, so we've got some big news, but we'll fill you in on that later. But for now, it's time for the artichokes to get cut back, because they are done and dusted and have had their day for this year. So let's go do that. So this is our first time growing artichokes, so we're still learning, but Mr. Google says that you cut it back a few inches off the ground. So I can see where one's been done a prior year by the previous owners, so I'm just going to match pretty much what they've done. Whoa! She got one. That was much harder than I anticipated it was going to be. Ooh. That's a real old one that they've cut down. Yep, that's from prior years. That's how I knew how much to cut off. And that's our new one that we just cut off. Can you tell how old it is from that? I reckon that it's probably just one season, to be honest. But this was super hard. It looks woody. It was very woody. Much more woody than anticipated. Having a bit more luck with those ones. Not so hard for these ones, yeah. That's that done. So the rest of the place is a bit of a schmozzle, but we're going to smash that soon. Betty's behind the camera. You want to say hello? Hello! Hello! So we've been living part-time up here, part-time in Melbourne, while we get everything sorted out, and the big news is that I have found work up here, which means we have something like, what, 2 weeks left? 2 weeks left of being in Melbourne before we move permanently up here. And what that means is we're going to be here to look after gardens, to look after animals, to look after all sorts of things. So it's about to get very exciting up here on the oldie acre farmlet. Very exciting. Well, the cloud cover's come over now. It's still really warm. It's probably about 29 degrees, I think, something around 29 degrees. But the cloud cover's come over, and they reckon that there's a chance of thunderstorms later tonight. So hopefully that'll give the gardens a good soak, which is something that looks like it really needs. So something else that's been going on this past couple of weeks is that my grandmother got gravely ill, and she had dementia quite badly, but she contracted COVID at the end of the year, just around New Year's Eve, and that put her in hospital. But she got better enough to come home, but she never really recuperated, and last week she passed away. So our family's been dealing with that, which has been really sad. So that's kind of been all encompassing. So we haven't really done a great deal of filming or anything like that recently, just because we've been going through that as a family. Grandma was an amazing human, and when I was younger particularly so, she was my safe space. So, you know, whenever I'd run away from home as a kid, Grandma's place was where you'd find me. So things have been challenging somewhat around here, but it's gonna be really awesome going forward, and I can't wait to take you all on the journey from here on in. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.